Good morning to everyone. This is Devika from Next Genius. We are just waiting for our panelists to join in and then we begin itself. Thank you. Hello, hi.
Hi,
I'm
this is Rajiv. Who's this?
Yeah, hi. This is Devika from Next Genius Foundation, and I'll be helping you moderate the webinar today.
Okay, great. I have a couple questions for you. So will the kids have their videos on and so forth in the session?
No, so the students won't be having their videos on, but there is a Q&A box down. So
Okay.
we will be asking them to post their questions there, and towards the end of 15 minutes end of the session, we can answer them.
Okay. Can we ask them to ask questions as I'm going? That way I can be
Sure. So
responding.
I'll just tell them to post their questions so that if they have questions, they can post it, and you can pick them in the middle of the webinar as well.
Yeah, that'll be good. It'll make it more interactive
Yes.
and interesting then. So, okay.
Yes, so I think we'll begin. It's already 10, and we already have a house full. We have 103 participants. So
Great.
I'll just make a few housekeeping announcements, and then we can begin with the program.
And if I want to show anything or whatever, I can
You
use
can
this
share your
feature,
screen. So I'll just make you a co-host so
Okay.
that you can have access to all the amenities. Just a second.
Okay, great.
All right, so you are co-hosting the webinar. So you can share your screen once I give it over to you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so hi, good morning, everyone. This is Devika Agarwal from the Next Genius Foundation. Today, we are very thrilled to have the very first session of the very new day with Mr. Rajiv. And the session is about speech and debate in India. And so we are looking forward to this profile building seminar. Also, before I give it over to Rajiv, I would like to brief a little about the Next Genius Foundation, that we are a registered charitable trust, and we established in 2014, and we connect with the universities abroad, highly selective universities, liberal arts colleges, for Next Genius scholarships. And in the past 5 years, our partner colleges have awarded scholarships worth $20 million. And this year, we hope to award as many scholarships to the worth net amount. And the registrations for the year 2020 have begun. So if you are in your grade 12 or you are in your gap year, you can for sure go to our website and apply for the program. So yes, so since it is about a very interesting webinar today, I would just like to ask you all one simple question. So do we know any career where you don't have to speak? I mean, of course, we cannot think of any career where we literally do not have to speak, where there is no communication, where there is no interaction. Maybe few careers involve a little isolation and a little less interactions, but at the end, we do have to interact with human beings. And when it comes to students like you all who are looking forward, aspiring to study abroad, of course, it becomes very important, a very important aspect of your profile to be having good communication skills. So, without further ado, I would like to ask Rajiv to take forward.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Devika. And will this automatically spotlight on me or?
Yes, so I can do that if you want.
All right.
Sure.
Okay, great. All right. So thanks a lot. Hope everyone is having a good Saturday morning. Thanks for getting up early and tuning in this morning. I'll speak a little bit about myself, my background, why I started this initiative in India. And then I'll speak more about the program itself, how the courses work, how our tournament system works, and why this is so important for students, of any age to be able to have exposure to speech and debate and all the skills that it brings to you, as well as the benefits it'll bring you academically as you complete through high school. I'm assuming most of you who are tuned in are in high school, but you may have siblings that are younger and so forth as well. And so I'll speak a little bit about our programs. We have programs at this point all the way from first grade through 12th grade. So I'll talk about our programs and how that works and what some of the benefits will be for you. I want this to be interactive, and I know in this particular format, I can't see your faces, you guys can see me, but use the chat function, the Q&A function, to send me messages as I'm speaking. I will be monitoring it, and I'll be responding back, if there's a relevant question as I'm speaking. It'll help me get a better feel for what your questions are as I'm discussing through. So use the Q&A function at the bottom of your Zoom webinar to ask me questions that you have. All right. So let's get started.
Just a second. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to interrupt you. I would just like to, say one more thing, that now we are going live on our Facebook page as well. So for, students who cannot join in because of the limited count, so if you feel anyone who's not able to join in, you can direct them to our Facebook page. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm not sure why you can't talk. You can check with the organizer. It's probably just part of the Zoom setting that they have for webinars. That's fairly common in the webinar format. But feel free to ask your questions on the Q&A, and I'll be monitoring and checking through that so that it's more interactive. And if you have areas that I'm not covering, feel free to ask that as well. Okay. So let me talk about my background first. I grew up in the United States. I lived in several cities as I was growing up in both the Midwest and central part of the United States. So I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, Dallas, Texas, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went to high school outside of the suburbs of Chicago and lived in a city called Oak Brook, Illinois, where McDonald's Corporation is headquartered. In high school, that's when my dad nudged me at the end of 9th grade. I wish I had an opportunity to start even earlier, but my dad nudged me at the end of 9th grade, and he said, why don't you check out at the beginning of next year this activity called speech and debate. Well, I checked it out and I was fascinated by it. It was a lot of fun. I met some of my closest friends during my time with debate. I was involved in a number of other activities as well, but I would say that this was by far the #1 most instrumental activity for me. It was transformational both during school for me as well as later on. And so if I start with a few of the benefits that I saw very early on, within about 6 months to a year, I saw a significant improvement in just the speed at which I could write. And so I was able to write faster, I was able to process information faster, write outlines faster, and write papers much, much faster than I would have been able to earlier. And so whether it was a few pages or 5, 10, 15 pages, it became relatively much easier to write papers. You become faster test takers because you can just process information faster. And there's a lot of evidence that shows that statistically debaters, and most of the evidence I'll talk about is in the US, that's where debate is hugely popular as an academic activity. And there's been a lot of research for decades in the US. And a lot of this research is available on our website on speechdebateindia.com. And so you can see a lot of what I'm talking about on the website in the benefits tab. But what I saw was a big gain in terms of writing. Speech and debate also helps you boost your reading comprehension level. You tend to read at a higher level. So if you're in high school, you will generally, a lot of what you're reading will be more at a college or adult level. And so it starts raising your level of comprehension as well as your speed, because you are looking for quick extraction of relevant information in whatever the passages are. The next area it helps you in is standardized testing. So speech and debate ends up helping to improve your ability to take standardized tests. Some of you may be taking the SAT soon or in the next couple of years, depending on which grade level you're at right now, SAT or the ACT. Well, the SAT, ACT are administered by the College Board. And David Coleman, who heads up, he's the CEO of the College Board, he is also an ex-state champion debater in the US. And he changed the SAT examination a few years ago. It used to be heavily based on memorization, rote learning, and so forth, but he changed it a few years ago to move the SAT to evidence-based reasoning and other skills that are natural skills for debaters. And so if you look back at the last 20 years of research that's been done, every study that's been done on debaters versus non-debaters has shown that debaters have statistically outperformed non-debaters in terms of their SAT scores. Debaters also outperform on GPAs relative to non-debaters. And debaters tend to be in the top 10% of their class anyways. It tends to attract the brightest kids across the country. In the US tend to be debaters, and that's what we've seen in China. Debate was introduced in China about a decade ago and has done very well with top students in China. And my anticipation is that we'll have something similar here in India based on what I've seen over the past 6 months in India. So debate was instrumental for me, through high school. It helped me get into 7 of the top 15 schools in the United States. So a number of different Ivy League schools that I had, my pick from. I ended up going to Stanford University on the West Coast for a number of reasons. And debate continued to help me at Stanford because I was a better listener. I was more attentive. I could pay attention better in classes. And I already had a better ability to discuss within classes, because debate is both debate as well as a lot of discussion that you will have with peers, and being able to respect alternative viewpoints and opinions with others. So it helped me through Stanford. I think the next place it helped me was I joined Goldman Sachs, which is a large, prestigious investment bank. It's one of the biggest financial institutions in the world. And when I joined Goldman, one of the big tasks for me in Goldman, I was in their corporate finance division in covering technology firms on the West Coast. My background at Stanford was I had done engineering, a lot of engineering courses, as well as courses in finance and the humanities as well, sociology, and I graduated with honors at Stanford. And so when I joined Goldman, it really helped me in research. I was able to research much more effectively and faster, because research is a natural skill that you pick up in debate. Everything in debate is not about your personal opinion. It is about evidencing your claims that you're representing as part of your team. It's also a highly collaborative activity. And so it helped me, and I worked at a number of other large firms on Wall Street and in the New York area as well. The last firm I worked with was a firm called D.E. Shaw, which is actually much tougher to get into than Stanford or Harvard. Pretty much everyone at D.E. Shaw, went to highly prestigious universities. About 1 out of 500 people get into D.E. Shaw. I was heading up corporate development globally at D.E. Shaw, was working on a number of different initiatives to build out our businesses. I helped launch a couple of large funds at D.E. Shaw, where we raised over $1 billion for those funds. When I left Wall Street, I moved to India to pursue certain entrepreneurial activities. And I think there again, debate is just something that keeps helping you throughout life. It brings in certain life skills that are so critical in today's environment. I think much more for your generation than it was, even for mine or for your parents' generation. Today, if you look at any employer survey, where you're going to see there is not, the top 5 skills don't mention rote memorization or learning. That's not what employers are looking for. Employers are looking for creativity. They're looking for collaboration. They're looking for critical thinking skills. They're looking for persuasive communication. They are looking for kids who are going to be able to adapt in well into their organizations. Now, colleges also understand this. And so colleges are also looking for similar types of students. And that's why debaters disproportionately, have a much higher percentage odds in terms of getting into top colleges, pretty much on a global level. But again, most of the studies that I'll cite are studies that have been conducted in the US, because it's just the deepest and oldest pool. Debate has been a popular activity for more than 95 years in the United States. There are about 500,000 students in the US that compete in debate in their high schools, and about 150,000 of them compete in US NSDA tournaments, which we are the exclusive providers of in India, and we're tied into their global network of tournaments. And so US NSDA is highly prestigious, and debate, speech and debate are highly prestigious activities in the US. And to give you a feel for, the impact that debate has on college admissions in the US, the studies that have been conducted have looked at different academic activities that students tend to participate in high school. So student government is a very common activity that kids will tend to participate in high school. Student government will get you about a 4 to 5 percentage point increase. And this was a Wall Street Journal study that had been done a number of years ago. Student government will get you about a 4 to 5 percentage point increase in your rate of college admissions. If you are captain of your sports team, the study showed that you will get, again, about a 4 or 5 percentage point increase or boost in your academic, in your weightage and in your odds of getting into, these top elite universities. If you are a debater and you have both debated well as had a leadership role in debate, the numbers are not at 4% or 5%. The numbers are actually at around 60%. And so there's a huge statistical outperformance in terms of debaters. There's a limited number of studies that have been done on this, but significant percentage of elite university students tend to be ex-debaters. Debaters tend to be the top 10% of their pools, as I mentioned. So let me talk a little bit about why I started Speech and Debate India here. This was an initiative I've been thinking about for a couple of years. When we moved to India about 8 years ago, and my kids, I live in Mumbai. I've been living here for the last 8 years. My kids attend the American School of Bombay, which is a very good school here in Mumbai. And one of the areas that I saw lacking and really avoid was competitive debate and US style debate, which is a very rigorous style of debate. It is much more intense. It is not something you can just show up at a tournament and expect to do well. You have to train for US style debate. And it is an intense activity. It's also a lot of fun, and it's a thrilling activity. I've done a number of other activities myself, and I've seen other kids who have tried different formats. I've also done a number of formats when I was younger. This is one of the most thrilling events and activities you will ever experience as a student. And I really felt that this was a void in the Indian market, and so I teamed up to bring the US NSDA to India so that students here across the country would have an opportunity. I have a couple of other businesses that that I've set up over the years. I have an agricultural technology company that I run, which exports and which has developed some interesting technology around plant intelligence to help plants grow more efficiently and for crops to be much more productive for large-scale farms as well as small farms. And so we've had a lot of success in R&D over the years. We've worked with a number of colleges, universities in India and research and development, as well as our own R&D. And we currently have work that we're doing in the European market as well as in the United States, and have had some interesting successes there. So anyways, I want to get back to Speech and Debate, which is what you guys are here for. So I set up Speech and Debate. We launched in January of this year. We piloted both physically as well as online. We had an experimental online setup. We had a physical setup both in Mumbai at a couple of top schools in Mumbai, as well as at a few top schools in the Delhi region. The experimental was pretty interesting the first couple months, January, February. And then at the beginning of March, a few weeks before the lockdown started, things were already starting to look bad. And so I took a decision to just move everything online at the beginning of March in advance of being forced to do that. And so we moved our entire platform online. We had been experimenting with it already. And we've had a lot of success with the online platform. It has grown much more rapidly than what we had anticipated. And we've now had kids from all over the country, pretty much every major city of India. We've had students as well as from smaller cities here. We also have kids internationally who've joined into our program. So we have a number of students from Dubai, for example, that are part of the program. We have kids in London, kids in other European countries, United States, Canada, and so forth, that are also who wake up sometimes early in the morning or stay up late at night to participate in our programs and our tournaments. So I'll talk a little bit about how we are set up. As I mentioned earlier, debate is not something that you can just show up for. It is a rigorous activity. It is worth the time, I believe, because it will pay back that time as a dividend of just making you far more efficient. It will hopefully speed up your ability to take your own classes. And so you'll be much faster in terms of doing your work in school. And so it will pay back in that respect. What we have coming up, what we've done over the last 6 months is we've launched a number of different topical-based courses. And so we had a general course that we had started in January. In April, because of coronavirus, we launched a course on healthcare and disease. And that tied into our regional tournament topic. Our regional tournament topic was on what the Indian government should be doing with respect to balancing the healthcare needs of the country and the economic needs of the country. And so that's what we were, that's what we were focused in on in our regional tournament. And it was a very complicated issue. And we had kids all the way from 3rd, 4th graders through 12th graders that were researching and debating that topic. We had a course that we ran on healthcare and disease that tied in with that particular topic. Following that, we then had build up towards our national tournament structure. And so we had hundreds of kids across the country that were participating as part of our regional and national tournament process. Our national tournament topic was around education. It was about how do we reimagine our education system, because in many ways, our education system is somewhat outdated. We still live in an education system that is largely was developed in the 1800s. And that is largely based on a lot of the skills that were important for factory workers in the 1800s. And that's what spurred a lot of it in the UK as well as in the US during industrialization. There have obviously been a number of improvements in education over the years, but the school system largely still looks similar and needs a lot of updating. And that's part of what the Indian government has been working on over the last few years. About a year ago, the Indian government launched a very interesting new proposal for where it believes schools should be moving towards over the next decade. And so I'm really happy to see the direction that they are moving in. And they've actually mentioned debate as one of the critical skills, even within the classroom, that they anticipate are important life skills for the future. But it's all the same skills that you'll hear: creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and so forth. Those are fairly well known at this point as being future-ready skills. As our environment changes so much, most of the jobs you guys will probably take on by the time you're taking on those jobs have not even been invented yet. The Institute for the Future estimated that about 85% of the jobs about a decade from now have not even been invented yet and are going to be new jobs or hybrids of existing jobs that'll be coming up. And so how do you prepare for that? Well, preparing for that means being highly adaptable, being able to think fast and being able to, to process depending on whatever comes at you, very quickly, and being able to research quickly and adapt into new realities. And so debate helps you with all of that. Our courses, as I mentioned, are geared towards getting you trained to think faster and to react faster. You're going to be in a course with other top students from top schools in different parts of India and generally internationally, a few kids as well. And so it really will challenge you, and it is something that is a lot of fun because you learn from other perspectives as much as from your own work and from your own research. That's something that you will learn when you get to college as well. That college is not just about learning whatever your courses are. I'd say a majority of the college experience at a good university is beyond the textbooks and beyond what you learn in the classroom. It's from all the other bright kids from around the world that you're meeting with and that you're learning from, and that become part of your network at the university level. So, in India, I've just to touch on a couple of other points that are relevant towards this. Over the last 4 years, I was on the board of trustees of the American School of Bombay. The last 3 years, I was president of the board of trustees. And so that gave me a pretty interesting window into top schools, both in our region here in Mumbai, as well as across the country, many of the top schools and what top schools were doing and various initiatives of schools, and just, both some of the bright spots as well as challenges. And I'd say that our school was one of the more cutting edge schools in terms of research and development. The other area that I've seen a lot of kids, especially seniors, applying into top universities was I've been part of the leadership team for Stanford University, where we run the interview process for Stanford University in India, in the southern half of India. And so that's been another interesting insight into top kids from all over the country who are applying into top universities, and and what those kids are doing, and what some of the shortcomings are. One skill I didn't mention earlier, but debate will definitely help you in, is just your interviewing skills. Most of the top schools you will interview for at some point, as long as they have enough alumni in India, or some of them will do it virtually. You'll have an opportunity to interview with them in the fall or in the spring, depending on when you apply, either early admissions or regular admissions. And so the interview process is one where being able to collect your thoughts and being able to convey yourself in a manner that is understandable to the person across from you, and is bringing those key points across, is very, very important in an interview. Most interviews are, will be setting their tone within the first 2 to 3 minutes of that interview. So it's very important, and this is true, across academic studies that have been done on interviews. Most employers will pretty much decide on your candidacy within the first couple of minutes. You're then either coasting, or you then have a very big uphill battle to fight if you did not do well in those first few minutes and the first impressions in your interview. And the body language also is an important part of that for that. So getting back to courses, what we have done, based on we've launched a number of interesting courses over the summer. They were intensive 2-week courses for kids over the summer break. And again, this ranges from younger kids. We have different divisions. We now have we've expanded from 3 to 4. We now have launched 2 additional divisions. So we now have 6 different divisions, ranging from 1st and 2nd graders to 3rd graders to 4th and 5th graders. We have a 6th grade division. We have a division that includes advanced 6th graders, as well as 7th, 8th graders, middle school division. And then we have a high school division for 9th through 12th. I'm assuming most of you will fall in that 9th to 12th, but there may be some, some early 7th and 8th graders here in the seminar as well. So I'll loop that in. Generally, the middle school and the high school students tend to work together pretty well. Our courses start on August 17th. So we have a new quarter system that we're launching based on the academic year. And so we'll have 4 quarters of courses. Each course, so the first set of courses will start on August 17th, and they will run through October 3rd. And the courses are a lot of fun, and I can just briefly share my screen to give a little bit of a feel for the kind of courses that we have. That is the wrong page. 1 second.
Sure.
Give me a moment here.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, so off the main page, you'll really easily, this is the Debate Academy, and this tab, Debate Academy, is the first page on that tab. And so if you scroll down, there's a little bit of information on myself and my philosophy. There's some press articles and so forth about us. This link is actually very interesting here. If you go here on the student videos and parent testimonials, I think our students will say it the best in terms of what their experience has been already and how much they have learned just in 6 months. Some of our students have only been with us for 3 months. Or 2 months. And so you'll hear from them directly. We've not been shy about it. So we've put a number of different testimonials, and you'll hear from a number of different kids. We also have a number of clips of what our sessions are like, or what the student experience is like within our courses. We do everything live. We don't do anything offline. Everything is live Zoom sessions. Our instructors are exclusively from the United States. We don't compromise in terms of quality any instructor needs to have that experience in terms of really understanding, this activity. And so if you come down here and you'll see every day of the week, we have different courses. All of these courses meet twice a week. And so you have your pick from Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday courses, Friday, Saturday courses. They tend to be in the evenings. We have 2 different time slots for high school kids, middle school kids. And so it'll tend to be, starting at 6:30 p.m. India time to 8 p.m. Is one batch. The second batch is from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Every course has 20 hours, slightly over 20 hours, but 20 hours of live instruction. Plus it gains you eligibility into one of our tournaments in the winter, which will be either a qualifying tournament or a regional tournament. Depends on your performance within the courses. But every student will have a shot at getting into the regional tournament. We have a regionals A in the winter, and then we have a regionals B in the spring. If you have further questions on that, you can read the website or you can ask us about it. But all of this is towards qualifying for Nationals 2021 for us, for those of you who are especially younger and are looking at this as part of your resume buildup through high school. So to give you a feel, our courses are a lot of fun. You can see preview videos for each of our course. These are not boring courses. I'm not lecturing at you. You're not going to get lectures from anyone. You'll be involved, from day one. You will speak on the first day. You will debate in the first day, first lecture itself. That's the beauty of our pedagogy, is that it is not theoretical. We will impart theory and you will not even know it. You will learn it in a fun, kind of creative way. And we use fun topics. So you'll see the Monday, Wednesday course is about mysteries and courtrooms. And so we will look at some of the most interesting legal battles over time that have taken place, as well as unsolved mysteries. And that's what our debates will be about. And we'll have some mock trial courtroom style debates as well in that one. The next course that is also at the same time, and so you can pick one or the other if you like Monday, Wednesday, and you can sign up for as many courses as you want. We have people who sign up for every day of the week, and we've had kids who have signed up for every single day of the week, literally since January that we've had courses running. So the other course that meets Monday, Wednesday is Will Mumbai plus Miami equal Atlantis? That course is about environmental science. It's about climate change. It is about governmental policy, as well as the economics of climate change, as well as the social impact that climate change has. There are all kinds of very interesting debates around technology and environmental sciences. The next course is Global Leadership 2.0. This was a very popular course that we had in the spring. I didn't mention it earlier, but we had a course on global leadership in the spring. This course meets Tuesdays and Thursdays every evening. This course is one where we've adapted at a different level. So all the way from 3rd grade eligible course upwards to a high school, middle school level course on global leadership. We look at global leaders both in business as well as politics. And we look at nonprofits as well in terms of leadership. We look at leaders and what does it take to become a leader? What are some of the challenges that leaders have in building their teams? And so this is meant to help you and help your leadership skills. And if we get time, or if you ask me, I'll talk about our own. I have a nonprofit initiative on leadership development, which is just a free initiative that I've offered up for kids as well in our program. And we have our first batch that's starting soon. The next course is Me, My Brain, and I. This is a course on cognitive psychology. Those of you who are humanities kids, we love humanities. Part of what I did at Stanford was spend a lot of time in psychology and sociology. Those are really interesting areas. This course is about cognitive psychology. It's about the brain. It's about ourselves. It's about a number of different interesting debates on that topic. That also means Tuesday, Thursdays. The next course is on Fridays and Saturdays. It's called Behind the Scenes. This is for those of you who like the arts, who like cinema. This is about debates on the film industry and about the business side of it, as well as the arts, and other interesting aspects. Some of the challenges that take place in the production of film and television, as well as writing of scripts and budgets and so forth in production. The next course is actually quite relevant for, for some of you. I don't know if there are any counselors here, or some of you who are students who are gearing up, to apply into colleges. This course is only eligible for 8th graders to 12th graders. This is taught by a recent student who got into a bunch of top schools, including Stanford. This is one of 4 courses that we have over the course of the year on college admissions. This is debates on what will help you in becoming a better applicant into colleges. And so this first topic is knowing your options. So this will help you better understand some of your options between UK schools, some of the schools in other parts of Europe, schools in the United States, liberal arts universities versus Ivy Leagues, versus schools that are strong on the technology side. And so you can read more about it, or you can watch the videos on this. And this is a one of 4-part series where each part of it will talk about different parts. So the next part, for example, talks about how do you build up your resume and what are colleges looking for, and different debates that we have related to making you a stronger applicant for the college admissions process. Okay. And then the last course for this quarter, this course is only available to kids who are signed up for at least 2 other courses between Q1 and Q2. But we've done that partly because this is in a series that always gets highly oversubscribed. And so this particular course is a tournament prep course. That means that as long as you're taking one of our other core courses, you're eligible, in each quarter, or 2 in 1 quarter, you're eligible to take the Global Chronicles. Global Chronicles is debates on current events. And so you will be debating topics, for example, the US presidential election cycle. You'll be debating China versus India, all sorts of issues that China and India have politically and economically today. There'll be a number of just spontaneous topics depending on what is interesting, new in the news. This course only meets on the weekends. At your age level, it'll be meeting Saturday afternoons. I believe it's from 1 to 4 p.m. On Saturdays for the middle school and high school. And this course is geared towards tournament prep. And so you do a number of drills, you do a lot of practice debates. And the second half of the course, this is the only course that we offer that is a semester-long course. It covers both Q1 and Q2. And so across both semesters, across both quarters, this course, the first quarter will talk a lot of different current events. In the second quarter, we will announce the topic for the Regional A tournament in the winter. And then this course becomes a prelude to that particular tournament of regionals. And I'm going to get to your questions just in a few minutes. I know there are a number of comments that are building up. And so this particular course on Global Chronicles covers current events. And the second half is very important because it preps you on the content that'll be covered in the regional tournament. Every other course will also be gearing you up. This course is additional training for kids who are really into it, kids who are intensive. And we've seen that kids who take our intensive tournament prep courses tend to have a higher degree of outperformance. It's just the nature of debate. The more you prep and the more intensity you have, and plus you're with, again, top kids over here in our tournament structure, that particular course helps you. And then in the second quarter, we have a bunch of additional courses that you can see. I won't go into detail on these, but innovation and impact is about what does it take to become a great innovator? So thinking creatively, we'll look back at historical innovators, modern innovators, future innovations, as well as the impact it's had on civilization. Business and entrepreneurship was a very popular course that we had this summer, where you will actually create your own business plan, and we debate your business plans. You will, at the end of this, some of the kids that we had in this business entrepreneurship class have actually formed their own businesses already. And this just ended about a week ago, our business entrepreneurship class. couple kids have already launched their businesses out of that course. The next course is for those of you who are into sports, sports management and so forth. Federer, FC Barcelona, and Fortnite. This is about sports management, video gaming, board games. If you like any type of games, this course is about debates on athletes, about sports, about all kinds of topics on that. My robotic sibling is about technology, artificial intelligence, debates around that. The next one, Netflix versus Amazon versus Hotstar, and I could add YouTube and others. This is all about the future of media, news broadcast, and we'll take a deep dive into some of these big companies and look at it from a branding perspective, marketing perspective, and so forth. This next one, Who, What's Your Story? This was the second part of the college admissions track I was talking about. All right, so anyways, you guys can go through there. There's a lot of content on our website. I'm gonna stop my screen share here for a second, and let me just show this page. I'm not gonna show you the video, but this is the students tab. And so you'll see here elementary students, middle school students, others. You'll see high school reflections. This is not reflections on debate. This is on a topic that we had given them, an extemporaneous topic on lifelong learning and the importance of lifelong learning. So you'll hear from some of our top kids here. And then you'll see other videos from the NSDA as well. There are a bunch of videos on our website. There are other tabs as well where you'll see clips from tournaments. We also have our entire broadcast. It was a 3-hour-long session, but if you watch the first half an hour, you'll see clips from our national tournament in this Watch Nationals tab. And so you can go on our Facebook page and you can see a rebroadcast of our tournament, and you'll see one of the teams that modeled off of a school in Bali. You'll see another team that modeled off of the UK tutorial system and the US system for their cases, and you'll see the intensity and what it's like to be in a debate. And if you listen to the few minutes before, you'll hear the challenge that they have because they get no prep time in our format while they're debating. Okay, so I will now look through here and look at some of your questions. So I've already answered a few of these on how debate will help you. Yes, debate should make most of what you're doing brighter. I'll say that debate is an intense activity and it is highly competitive. The competition part is really up to you. Most kids love the tournaments, and that I think is an important part of the learning experience, is to be able to bring it all together in that tournament. I also want to mention that debate is a great activity for shy kids or kids who are introverted. We don't make you memorize speeches. I'm highly against memorization of speeches. Debate is an intellectual activity. Very little intellectual activities in our modern world require memorization. And so debate is a natural activity for bright kids who are introverted, who are shy. You can read some of the student comments on our Instagram or on our website. You'll hear from some of those shy kids, or even in some of the video clips, you'll hear from them. Debate has a way of naturally getting kids who are shy to just gradually be able to express themselves. And so we recognize which kids are shy and which kids are not shy. And we kind of bring that out slowly. We don't force it on them. And in debate, you have the benefit of your notes. I'm not using any notes or anything else right now, but in debate, you have the benefit of your notes. And so you can read off of a script as you're presenting to an audience. Is there a difference between how human beings speak and writes a language? Yes, absolutely. And so why does debate, it's a good question. Why does debate help you in terms of your writing skills versus just speaking? Well, I'll say speaking is one of the last things that we actually work on in debate. Because speaking ends up just coming naturally for a good debater. It takes a little bit longer, but in speaking, if you take a public speaking course and you go there for a few days, whatever, it doesn't have a whole lot of long-term impact. That's what the studies show. Unless you actually do it repeatedly, those things don't help you. Debate is a repetitive activity where you keep practicing, you keep getting engaged. After a while, you forget that you were shy because you are in the moment and you are focused on your evidence. You're focused on quickly getting up and speaking because you're up against the clock. And so it helps you as a speaker, but what it also helps you do is writing, because every debate case that you run in a tournament involves an affirmative case and a negative case. The affirmative cases are pre-planned cases, but once you launch and you read out your affirmative case, everything else has to be extemporaneously written down. And so you will take very quick notes. You become very fast at writing speeches. When we run extemporaneous exercises, our kids tend to be pretty fast at being able to put things down together quickly. And so it really helps you in terms of your writing, and reading higher level materials for debate also helps your writing ability. So someone's asked about MUN. I'm not going to comment too much about MUN. If you go on to and see some of our videos, you'll hear from kids about MUN versus debate. MUN is a much easier activity, frankly. It's an activity that doesn't require as much rigorous pre-work as debate. I'm not aware really of any academic research on MUN, specific MUN research that will cite the kind of evidence that that we cite and that debate can cite and that we have on our website. I discount MUN fairly heavily because I don't find it to be as rigorous of an activity. It is an interesting activity. It has some good collaborative aspects, so I like those aspects of it. I don't think it gets you the gains in terms of college admissions. I don't think it gets you the gains in terms of being able to think much faster, and the intellectual gains that you get on reading, writing, and so forth that you'll see in debate. And so I think MUN is an easier version. If you're an MUNer, I will encourage you to try debate out. You will find this tougher, but you'll also enjoy the experience. What we've seen is some of our MUNers have now risen to become some of our better debaters, but they have to go through a learning curve. You have to unlearn some of the bad habits that you learned in MUN, but once you correct some of those habits, you can become a very strong debater. And so we love having MUN kids try it out and join. And as I said, we had a couple of our kids who made it all the way to nationals in our final teams were ex-MUN students who had a very tough time initially in the first few weeks, but they were able to adapt. We spoke to them about what they needed to adapt, and then they really shined and did well. And in the middle school level, we had a few kids who really didn't have any issues transitioning in. They were able to adapt very well and performed exceptionally well in our program. So look at the benefits page on our website. Read the academic research, see what the experts say, and you'll be able to see the differential there. So the best way to get involved, the next question there is, go to speechdebateindia.com. You can read about it. Our courses all cost the same, except for the Global Chronicles, because it's a 2-semester course. It costs a little bit more than twice as much. It has slightly more involved. Our courses all cost 14,900 rupees per quarter plus GST. It's just a standard price at any level, any division, any age level. So you can see all of that on our website. And if you have further questions after this, you can. We have a chat line, where you can ask your questions. And you'll get a response back, within some period of time. We have email support. We also have numbers that we can get you in touch with to speak to someone on our team. We have competitions within our courses. We have regular kind of practice competitions. Within each course, we'll build up to a final affirmative case where you'll be competing. And then at the end of the winter, we'll have our qualifying tournaments, regional tournaments, and all of this builds into our global network, over the course of the year. Next question is on youth government. Youth government is pretty interesting. I did that when I was a kid also. It was called, it was called something different in the US. But I'd say youth parliament is an interesting one also. It's kind of like MUN in a way, where the good benefits, I think, of MUN and youth parliament are collaboration, and you gain good skills in terms of collaborating with other kids. That's an important life skill to have. So I would encourage that. It's also kind of fun, to be negotiating with other kids in youth government. Ours is very different. You're not in a giant, room. You're generally working in small groups. Your teams will be 3 members, maximum 6 members. on a debate team. And so everyone gets a pretty intense speaking role within the debates. And ours is really not about your personal opinions. It's about evidence. The research and evidence will weigh, far more than anything else. Logic is helpful, but it's a complementary activity if you're in, something like youth government. I had done that a long time ago, and I've seen a lot of kids do that. Okay, so I've spoken about our programs. I've spoken about how it will help you. I'm just looking through your questions. Yeah, so if you do World Schools debate, for example, like my kids have both done that. We have a number of kids who do World Scholars debate. World Scholars is an easier format of debate. And so we don't train specifically towards World Scholars, but I know that there are kids who join our program in order to improve themselves for World Scholars. So World Scholars debates tend to be impromptu debates. We do a lot of those kind of drills in our classrooms. Those are kind of shorter, faster drills. And so we do some of those drills. We extend it much more towards, the research side. And so because ours is far more rigorous, you will find World Scholars, WSC, to be easier. And so you should be able to perform better at WSC, later on. You'll just find that format. We do those kind of things for fun. So when we want to take a break during our tournaments, we will do an impromptu style debate, because those are kind of fun. They're easier. We'll give kids a half an hour or 1 hour on an impromptu topic. They'll do a little bit of research, work on it, and then debate that out. That usually won't go to the kind of depth that you do if you've been researching a topic for 2 months or for a month and a half. So that's the main difference. Otherwise, it's, that's a fun activity. And this is highly, it'll lead in very well if you're a World Schools debater, if that's something that you do, or World Schools debate is just one of 4 different activities for WSC, and it's a great program. It's a newer program in the US. It was just formed, I believe, about a decade ago. And so it's a much smaller program in the US, and it's much newer relative to the NSDA. But if that's what you do, this is something that that should be able to help you. And we have kids even from outside of India who are part of our program to help prep them for WSC. But it'll make you much stronger in terms of the evidence side, and hopefully your spontaneity will boost. Okay, I've answered, I think, a few of these courses on MUNs and on debate. The student who's asked about mock trials and mock courts, you can look at our Mysteries in Courtrooms class. We will be doing some of that in that particular course in Q1. We don't do physical programs anymore. I actually really like this online program. It's more efficient for me. It's more efficient for our kids. We're able to bring in kids from all over the world, all over India in our online. And so we anticipate continuing to work in a live online format with us. If you want to learn about more pointers on debates, you can look at, there's an article I'd written that was published in the Tribune paper in North India a few days ago. You can Google that, Tribune India, and then my name, or Tribune India and Speech Debate India. And then you can get some pointers that I have on how to boost your debating skills. Those are just, there's some high level points on that. Next question is interesting. For Indian colleges, I'd say debate. Indian colleges, the ones that look at extracurriculars, yes, it will help you. So a few of the top schools, which really are doing a good job looking at your extracurricular activities like Kriya, like Ashoka and so forth, those kind of schools will weigh extracurriculars quite highly, and it will help you. Again, if you're taking entrance exams for a school that's just purely looking at a number, it's not going to help you to get into those, those schools. Very frankly, it's, there's just not a whole lot of gain that you'll get there. But the gain there, I think, for you is, are you doing things just to get into your school or college, or are you doing things for yourself and for, the rest of your life? Now's the best time to be able to take a class like this and to be able to, gain those skills now. It's much, much harder if you don't figure that out as a kid, to then later pick that up or struggle, in college or post-college. doing it. I've run sessions at IIT, for example, to help kids on interview skills. I ran a program just for fun and for free for for IIT kids who were graduating from IIT, and we're gearing up, and so using speech and debate skills to help your interview process, if you're a third year, fourth year, or master's level student, but much easier to gain those skills earlier than in colleges. Right now, we're only taking wait lists for college. We've not launched a college program yet. I'm just looking back through. There's still a bunch of questions here. Okay, so questions on how do you search for perfect sites? That's something that's a little beyond the scope of this. That's more on research skills. And so again, if you attend either one of our seminars, you look on our website, if you sign up, you'll learn a lot more on, on that aspect. The next question is a good question. How does speech and debate help on teamwork and collaboration? So we have made our format, the US NSDA format is one of the most rigorous formats of debate you'll find in the world. We've made ours even slightly more rigorous than that. And I have emphasized collaboration skills in our format. So we've eliminated prep time. You really have to work well with your team. You can be the 3 smartest kids in the country. If you don't collaborate highly well, anyone else is going to beat you in our format of debate, because our format requires very strong collaborative skills in order to win together as a team. Because we put a lot of time pressure on kids. And the only way to get around that is to be selfless, to be collaborative, to be working together with your teammates well. And teammates, are helping each other during our debates, because everyone has the same time pressure. And so you have to work really well in ours. And collaboration is one of the areas that we assign a significant amount of speaker points. And so kids who don't collaborate will never win speaker awards in our format. Good question. Okay, I'm going to skip the next question. It's a little out of scope. It's about political implications. What are we going to learn here? How can debate help in management of people? Okay, that's an interesting question. Leadership skills generally are important, things that you will learn in a speech and debate. I'll say collaboration, working in a team, is very important. As you become a better debater, you will have opportunities to lead your team, or to be one of the leaders within your team, or to shine within a classroom and be a leader, within there. We also have, I'm glad you prompted that question, because we also had formed this nonprofit initiative of a leaders circle. So we took some of the top kids from different divisions and gave them an opportunity to join our leaders circle, where they have leadership opportunities, they have leadership positions, and we're giving them additional leadership opportunities within Speech Debate India to be able to have that as an additional benefit for their resumes, as well as just their own development. And then some of our courses in particular, like global leadership, business and entrepreneurship, and so forth, touch quite a bit on leadership skills. The next debate courses start on August 17th. The best way to start, I believe, is you join one of our courses. You'll learn how to debate the right way. There are 150,000 kids, that are in the NSDA's programs in the US. That's a lot of kids. Debate tends to be, on average, the statistics show in the United States, the top 10% of students are debaters. So debaters tend to be in the top 10% of their schools. About 10% of Harvard's class, I believe, from one of the studies, are ex-debaters. So there's a lot of evidence. Again, a lot of the stuff is on our website that you can see in the benefits tab. We do not have any free programs or anything else. You do have to pay for our courses. It's $14,900. I believe it will be the best investment you will make in your high school career. It will move the needle across a number of different academic areas for you. Like I said, I have a number of other things I've done over the years. It helped me on Wall Street. It helped me set up, a couple of other successful startups. And this was an initiative I did to give kids a voice, but you do have to, be able to pay for the courses and the time that we're putting in, with various US instructors involved. Internship opportunities out of the scope here. You need to be a member? No, there's no such membership. If you're in one of our courses, you automatically gain eligibility to be able to participate in one or other of our tournaments. I've already talked about the fee structure, $14,900 per course that you take per quarter. And that includes, we never charge for tournaments. There are kids who did 20 rounds between our regionals and nationals. We don't charge for any tournaments. We don't charge for any prep or additional seminars that we do. We have a lot of guest speakers who come in. We don't charge for any of those things. Once you're part of our network, you will gain the benefit of anything else that we do, free of charge as part of that. And we always try helping our kids. We help our kids with recommendations, and we help our kids, when we need to, especially our high school level kids. So class 10 to 12, you can again see that on the website. Between 6:30 to 8 p.m. is one set of courses, Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, Saturday. The tournament prep courses are on Saturdays, 1 to 4 p.m. And you can pick from any of those time slots, again, from 6:30 to 8 or 8 to 9:30 on those days. You can sign up for selective courses on the website. So you'll see the website is fairly straightforward, but if you need any help filling that out, you can contact us either on the WhatsApp line or on email, and someone on our team can just walk you through the form and help you with any questions that you have on the form. You can sign up for one or more, whatever courses you want. Just go on the website again, speechdebateindia.com. And if you click around, you'll very quickly get to a sign up link. It'll say register my kid or sign up my gifted child or whatever. Just click on any of those or click on the tabs and you'll see it. Yes, okay, next question, good question. Are there any courses on politics, economics, public policy, administration? These are all awesome areas. Many of our courses will touch on politics. So the Global Chronicles is all just about current events. Economics, look at our business and leadership, business entrepreneurship course. Look at our Netflix course. Many of our courses, just because of my background on Wall Street and so forth, I love bringing economics in. Politics and economics is usually interwoven in all of our key topics that we run. We tend to do policy debates. So your public policy administration is spot on in terms of a question. That's what we tend to do, is we tend to look at either the Indian government or we look at global governments. So national policies or government or intergovernmental, national global level policies. And so many of our courses will touch on those types of topics. If you had to skip some of this, I guess you can go onto your Facebook page, right, to see the rebroadcast of this particular event. Advertising our program, I would say go onto our website. That's where you're going to learn about, our any other questions that you have, you can learn on our program. I'm not going to be teaching you debate right now in an hour. That's not what the purpose of this session is. This is just about our program. And so if you want to learn what our program is about, that's what the session is meant to be. Kids engage with one another. We have small size classes. We do a max of 20 kids in a class. And so, our structure is meant to be small. Our classes tend to get sold out, relatively early. And so, it's really on a merit basis that kids tend to move on within our classes. We don't do trial classes. We have plenty of, evidence kind of within the site. And so, if you like what you see, you can sign up there. And you can see a number of clips from prior debates. It isn't something that, we will, be able to go into a whole lot of additional detail as part of what's, proprietary. Our pedagogy is something that you'll have to experience within the classes themselves. We don't have any shorter time period courses right now. In the summers, we do have 2-week intensive classes that run over 10 days. Mehek, I'm not sure what questions you're wondering. How can we register for these courses? So I think I've answered that question if that's the one. If there's something else you're asking, please add it back onto Q&A. Nope, we don't do any prize money. This is not about prize money. If you're in 12th grade, we do have 12th graders, who are in the program. It will help you fairly quickly in terms of being able to gain certain skills. You won't be able to get the benefits of someone who's signing on, in 11th grade or earlier. It'll also help you in terms of your interviewing skills. You'll become a better interviewer. Again, it is really not like MUN. I think it is completely different. You can hear, there are a couple of seminars that have taken place, and you can listen to what others have said about MUN versus our style of debate. Our website again is speechdebateindia.com. Our Instagram is instagram.com/speechdebateindia. Our Facebook is facebook.com/speechdebateindia. So fairly easy, and you can find all those links on our website. So the 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. we don't have anything else for you. We just have the 1 to 4 p.m. on Saturdays, but that's only for kids who are in one of our other courses. You do get certificates. You can add it onto your resumes. A lot of kids added both for their, within their school as well as for their resumes. The formats that we run all kinds of formats during the workshops. And so we are training you in impromptu debates, on cross-examination debates, on different formats of debate within our workshops. You won't even realize part of what we're doing within the discussions and so forth, but we gear you up through different types of debate formats. And so again, I'd say look at some of the videos to get a better feel for that. And then our tournaments tend to run on policy debates that are cross-examination style debates. Again, if you go online, you can learn more about that. It's one of the most rigorous formats of debate in the world. It's the most popular format in the United States. That's what public forum and policy debate in the US is modeled off of. We do certain types of ethical type debates and all, but most of it tends to be policy and public forum cross-examination style debates. If you're new to debate, this is totally fine. I would say about half of our kids are new to debate. So this is not just for experienced MUNers or for kids who have never debated before. We take in kids at any level, and our pedagogy is designed in such a way that we draw out even the shy kids and kids that have never debated before. Like I said, in the first class itself, we run both discussion-based as well as practical formats of debates within our classes. And so you will start debating, from the first session and start seeing that format. Okay, I've answered a lot of these questions about the costs and so forth. You don't need any prior debating experience. Like I said, more than half of our kids have never debated before. And I'd say actually about 70% of our kids probably have never debated before in Speech Debate India. And probably about a quarter of them have done MUN or WSC formats of debates, or have done some inter-school types of debates before. This is, I believe, the first step. And, like I said, you can come in at any level. Most of the kids joining in will be first-time debaters, or a lot of them. And we have a way of integrating new kids in very quickly, like I said. Okay, I've answered a bunch of these questions.
Yes.
You will gain a lot of soft skills. Yes, I've answered that. Yep, if you're 15 years old, that's great. You'll be in our high school program. We have, like I said, we have kids now from the ages of 6 to 18 that are in our debates. Psychology is just a topic. We can debate anything, and we make, what we're more interested in is finding interesting topics that kids can engage in. And so psychology is just one of our topics that we use, but we look at all kinds of interesting topics that we bring in. So generally the academics do matter. Generally, most of the kids that are in our programs tend to be in the top quartile of their schools. So they tend to be the top 20, 25% of their schools. If you are not doing very well academically within your school, you're going to have a tough time then in our program. This is meant for, for stronger students and for gifted kids. Or sometimes it's just kids who are underperforming. We do have some kids who are not in their top 25% or not 20%, but they're high IQ kids, they're smart kids. And so this is a channel for them. But we tend to have kids that are, that are academically doing well, and you're definitely in the upper half of your class, and preferably, the top 25% of your class. And like I said, any of our courses, beginners as well as experienced kids can participate in. Ninth graders, yes, our biggest sections tend to be at the high school level, tend to be 9th, 10th, 11th graders. And then we do have some 12th graders, that are there. We have lots of kids in our middle school, program and elementary school program as well. Some of these are repetitive questions now, asking the same thing. Are you seeing anything else, Devika, that I have not answered here?
No, I think you have answered to the majority of the questions.
Yeah, the stage fright one, I'll respond on this one. Losing stage fright, you don't have to worry about stage fright in speech and debate, India. We don't put you on the spot in a debate where you have to be memorizing things. You always have the aid of your notes. As I said, this is an intellectual activity. We're not challenging your ability to memorize things. That actually takes away from the learning. So you will never see us asking you to memorize things. We won't have you standing up in front of 500 people, presenting things right now. Eventually you will become more comfortable doing all of that. And eventually it will gradually go away. But shyness is not something that you're going to, move away from in 1 or 2 weeks. We have a lot of shy kids. I would encourage you to watch some of the videos on our website, hearing from those shy kids in terms of what their experiences have been. Like I said, if you want to improve your own debate skills, look at some of the resources that we have on our website. Google me or Speech Debate India. You'll see some of the articles in press or some of the articles that have been written by me that are in newspapers. Some of those are tips and strategies for, for debaters. What I can do is I can leave you with one video here that will kind of help sum up from a student perspective. And those of you who need to leave can head out, but I'll just leave you with this.
Hey, I'm Salvi.
My name is Yashman Loy.
I'm Ariana.
My name is Shore Kanduri.
And I'm Joan Gupta.
Sorry, I don't know if you were able to hear the audio there.
Yes.
Could you hear it?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So.
The thing I love about debating is that I can express myself, because to the rest of the world, I'm just a teenager who has issues with the world. But when I'm debating, what I say actually matters.
I guess the one thing I really love about debate is that while you have one focus, which is the victory ahead, you're analyzing hundreds of ideas, hundreds of possibilities, and hundreds of stories at the same time.
Debate has also trained me to think out of the box, which has really been beneficial because I've been able to think critically about world problems and solve them, and even think creatively.
Debate is, according to me personally, one of the most effective means of communication, and only if you debate will you actually know how to speak.
The element of surprise is what makes debate so exciting. When going into a debate, you never know what you're going to need to say. The other team could ask you literally anything.
I just love debating because it requires the use of many skills that gradually intensify when you debate. The sharing of different perspectives and the contradictory arguments thrown are an essential part of debate.
Being a creative person, as well as enjoying public speaking, debate has continuously shined through as the best of both worlds. It is the right amount of both and allows me to tap into my creative side while allowing me to display my abilities as well. I love everything about debate as it lets me do the things I love most.
Debate helps me view other people's opinions on certain topics. It's fun to compare people's opinions and have a small argument on which one is right. It's also fun as it can never be completely one-sided or opinion-based. It has to be based on facts, and those have to be backed up with your opinions.
And apart from that, debating is also really very important for us, right? It builds critical thinking skills and, thinking on your feet.
Speech and Debate India was when, in the national quarterfinals, our team was new and we fought a lot. But then, we made up with each other, we said sorry, and we started playing games. Next day, we started working as a team and did a marvelous job.
My favorite moment with speech and debate. As with many other groups, our team had a WhatsApp chat, and the shared stress, excitement, and the overall feeling of many butterflies flying around in all our stomachs came together to create a moment of togetherness, teamwork, and mostly accomplishment.
My favorite moment with Speech Debate India was in the leadership course when there was an argument about why Disney being on the moon is better than a boring Disney Legoland combination.
My favorite moment in speech and debate was the island debate because it was a very fun format and I had an idea which I led on until there were only 3 teams remaining.
So one thing I know for sure is that however minuscule my doubt may be, if I ask it in the middle of the night, I know that Ritika is going to get back to me, and for that I just really love Speech and Debate India because I feel like every interaction I've had with either Ritika Miss or Rajiv Sir, both of them have guided me, both of them have helped me, both of them have encouraged me, both of them have criticized me, and that has helped me, and I love each and every of our interactions, and I feel like those are my favorite moments because they actually helped me grow.
Being a part of Speech and Debate India has helped me put my thoughts into words and helped me become more confident in myself, and it's just helped me speak out when I wouldn't normally.
Speech and Debate India has taught me many things, but if I had to choose one thing, I would say it has helped me learn how to think critically and about another team's plan in a debate. And now, after researching the K-12 school system for about 2 months, I understand the importance of this and how difficult it really is to actually teach critical thinking.
Thanks to Speech and Debate India, I overcame my fears of speaking in front of people, or at least a part of them. True, it still worries me a bit, but I don't think I'd ever stop debating for it.
It has helped me grow my argumentative skills, it has helped me further develop my writing skills, and finally, it has greatly benefited my work ethic. As the diligence and preparation skills I have learned, I have the ability to apply them to my everyday student life as well. Overall, speech and debate has been an exhilarating, engaging, and joyous adventure that has helped me develop many parts of myself and hone in on my skill sets.
Being part of Speech Debate India has taught me how to debate competitively, which I had never done before. It's also helped me learn how to research well and how to think quickly on the spot.
Being part of the Speech and Debate India course has helped me overall improving my debating skills, my public speaking skills. It has boosted my confidence while speaking in front of a crowd. I've also become more creative as we were debating on creative topics.
Now let me tell you 5 different things I love about debating, and 5 different things I love and I've learned from debating. 5 different skills I've learned. So I have made an acronym for it. It's called LEARN, L-E-A-R-N. L for learning, E for extending, A for achieving, R for respecting, and N for new skills and new terms that I've learned. So this is what I loved about Speech and Debate India, and this is what I learned, this is what I love, and I love Speech and Debate India, and it has helped me a lot and achieved me a lot.
All right, thanks a lot, Devika. I know you guys are, hold on, let me pause that. Okay. Devika, I'll hand it back to you. Thanks for everyone for spending your Saturday morning. Hopefully this gave you a good introduction in terms of just how our program works and what some of the benefits are. You can learn more on our website, or look at various resources that we have. And if you're interested, feel free to sign up or ask other questions. So Devika, back to you.
Yes, totally. And I personally believe, there's nothing better than something incredible like Speech Debate India established in such times. And as mentioned by you, it's an important life skill. So yeah, whatever we do, it adds up to a life skill. And I'm sure that's the key takeaway from the session. And obviously to all the students who have been watching this, you all can approach him via Facebook, via website chat, via Instagram, and of course, we are all here. So thank you so much.
Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye.